The Aggression Scale, an Anchor Bay DVD. I believe it premiered on Starz Channel because they actually went out of their way to say Anchor Bay, a Starz network. So if Anchor Bay is from Starz, then that's fine, whatever. Primetime channel. Directed and edited by Stephen C. Miller. I don't know who he is. I don't know his previous films. There's Ray Wise here. Outside of him, there's no other major names that I know of. The general summary, the briefest of TLDRs, TLDWs, that I could tell you is that this movie is essentially Home Alone meets Halloween, but in a weird way. Like, how do I synopsize this? Okay, we open the film with Ray Wise's character here going into some sort of trailer. He just got out on bail for murder. He's most likely going to be convicted guilty, so his time is limited, very limited. And he has some of his goons, played by this guy, and a couple other people, and he hires them to basically go hunt down people who owe him money. He wants to get $500,000 that people owe him back, so that he can use that to get out of the country, to preferably to a nation with no extradition. He wants to live comfortably. He probably won't live comfortably for too long with $500,000, but it's a start. Now, they have this little psychological definition here for the aggression scale called a psychological test measuring the frequency of overt aggressive behaviors that may result in physical or psychological injury to others. They primarily use this in relation to this character, which is why I mentioned the Home Alone meets Halloween type of architect. Not Halloween as in grown-up Michael. This kid is basically a kid Michael, the child Michael. And he's basically Michael as a child meets Kevin McAllister. Because their family moves into a very nice home, and the mother essentially just immediately marries this kid. The mother has a daughter, the father has a son. They both marry, so these guys are step-siblings. Stories seem to connect so far? Alright. So the marriage was really fast-tracked because the mother seems to be on hard times financially, and she found this out with the husband character, and they actually do care about each other to an extent, so they marry and they move into this home to start a new life together. But we later learned that the father was using this money that was taken from this character, the mob boss, and the hitmen have found this house to take the money back. And throughout the film, we have the first act establishing our characters. They don't immediately come to the house to take on the family, the hitmen. No, the hitmen are looking for the money in the first act, but they haven't found the family yet. We establish the characters. I've already established the parents. Let's establish the step-siblings. First, we have the daughter, who is a typical teenage daughter girl. She tends to be pretty prissy. She's not exactly a fan of her father or the step-brother. She treats them pretty poorly. And the stepbrother is really quiet. He seems to be unnerved in ways. Now, I mentioned that he seems to be like a mix between the Kevin McAllister character from the Home Alone movies and a young Michael Myers from the Halloween movies. He seems like a mix of those two characters. Now, Michael Myers was severely psychologically damaged in many ways. He was a very different type of person that put him on the road to being a very violent type of person. Now, with some Kevin thrown in, he seems to be a little bit nicer, but he's very quiet, he's very, very reserved. And we later learn that the husband character, the father of this kid, ends up using the money that he took from this guy in order to fund psychological and medical treatment to the kid and basically keep him out of juvie and prison systems, because he has a history of very bad violent behavior against any types of would-be bullies. During school, he would be bullied by these kids, and then he would find ways to get these bullies alone using very elaborate traps and things that he built and made up to really hurt these bullies. One of them lost an eye to one of his elaborate traps, so he was basically put into the juvenile delinquent system, and the father got him out, and he's back home now. Enter the hitmen at the beginning of Act 2. The hitmen come into the house, and immediately the brother gets the sister out of trouble after the sister gets hurt by one of the hitmen. See, her arm is damaged here. She's really not used to this stuff. She's freaking the heck out. She's screaming, her hollering her head off, and he's covering her mouth and trying to get her to safety. You get the feeling that the kid really cares about his stepsister. That's sweet. So, our deranged little young psychopath takes the sister, and they escape while the hitmen kill the parents. Yes, the mother and the father end up dying. They're dead. So the two kids are on the run, and the bulk of the film is the hitmen going after the kids, and our young little, not Michael Myers, not Kevin McAllister, ends up picking the hitmen off one by one in a very hilarious and satisfying manner. This film is not shot as a comedy. It is very graphic. It's not shot well at all, actually. But that's neither here nor there for the Kevin McAllister, not Michael Myers character. His killing of these guys, picking off the hitmen, is really satisfying to watch and really entertaining. If this was better shot, if this was better edited, if this was better, a lot of things in regards to technical wise. The camera, there's a lot of shaky cam, and I can't stand shaky cam. Maybe that's just a personal gripe, though. Maybe other people find it fine, but I can't stand it in this film. It's so annoying to watch. Everything's shaking all around. You could barely focus on anything. And there's one thing to be gritty. It's another thing to just be annoying. And the camera work was annoying at times. But the third act was incredibly entertaining. I really enjoyed the young character here, the son, stepbrother's character, since the film is mostly shot from her point of view. He's just the secondary protagonist, but he really ends up saving the day. He does all the good stuff. And at the end of the film, after all of the hitmen have been taken care of, they find the money that the father has hidden in a mattress, and they take it all with them. And they're gonna go run away somewhere, right? And before they do that, the film ends with them tracking down our friend here, Ray Wise, to kill him. Basically, they're gonna run him over with the moving van. So that's it for him. Poor Ray Wise is gone. No more mob boss, no more hitmen, and the two step-siblings, run off happily ever after. Over the course of the film, the daughter ends up opening up to her deranged, psychopathic younger step-sibling, and she really grows to appreciate him because he's actually doing everything he can to keep her alive, despite her mistreatment of him. So that's pretty sweet. He seems to be trying to acclimate himself to his family and care about his family, and these hitmen seem to have brought them together, so that's sweet. The film, in general, though, the bad shaky cam, the bad CGI quality camera work, there's a lot of stuff in here that's very annoying to watch. And if you are absolutely interested in the aggression scale between where a victim ends and where the victim turns into the killer in this regards, the aggression scale, I recommend you give this a shot. Otherwise, just go with the synopsis that I gave you, and that's basically what you see in the film. Otherwise, whatever. Be imaginative, everybody.